Where are you calling in from?
So my name is David Bailey. I'm calling from Camp Humphrey, South Korea. I've been listening to your show. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what the concern is with Alabama fans right now. I'm a Texas fan, diehard, been a Texas fan since I was a little kid. I follow the team religiously, pay for memberships at all the websites. I can tell you that we're in another Charlie Strong era as far as head coaching. Quinn Ewers against Rice, against that secondary, he couldn't complete a pass beyond 15 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Our offensive line was getting bullied by Rice. Bullied. These are 5 stars going against kids that are just dreaming to have an opportunity to play in a Power 5.
Mm-hmm.
We were getting owned. I'm just being honest with you, if I'm Nick Saban looking at the dynamics of that Texas squad, we don't have anyone on the defensive line that's going to go in the top 3 rounds. Maybe might get lucky with Sweat, maybe not. He's one of our defensive tackles at 6'5", 320 pounds. However, we don't have that same depth. Our linebackers, we have one linebacker just like Harold Perkins. He's supposed to be really good. They're going to move around the field. They probably didn't expose him too much. I think he can create a dynamic. Our secondary is pretty solid. I just don't think this team doesn't have the it factor. Each team has their it factor that makes them special. Quinn Ewers is not that guy. If you don't have a quarterback that distributes the ball, you're not getting it to A.D. Mitchell. You're not getting it to Xavier Worthy. You're not getting it to Whittington. You're not getting into that 5-star tight end that was playing out of his mind last year. We don't have that, and we don't have Bijan. No more Bijan. No more Roshan. None of those leaders on the team. This team is going to go into Tuscaloosa, and I'm embarrassed as a Texas fan. I honestly feel like this team's going to go in, and Nick Saban's going to do what Nick Saban has done his entire career. That's the reason why he's only lost 20 home games.
Yeah.
And the only time he's lost a game at home is against a quarterback that went out of his mind. Joe Burrow, Johnny Manziel. There's another quarterback that I'm forgetting about off the top of my head. But it seems like when a quarterback goes out of his mind, then they struggle. But Quinn Ewers is not that guy. Unless for some reason Quinn Ewers gets benched and they put in Arch Manning or Malik Murphy, which I don't think those guys are ready. I just don't see it. It's going to be right now. The point spread says 6.5. I thought it was 7, but at 6.5, I'm going to take the over, and I'm going to pick Alabama, and I'm going to say it's going to be at least 21.
On with David calling in from Camp Murphy's in South Carolina. Hey, David, are you in the United States military?
Yeah, I've been in for 18 years.
Hey, well, I just wanted to first of all say thank you very much for your service. Freedom isn't free. We appreciate you more than you know. So thank you very much. It means a lot to us, for everybody in the United States military. So honestly, thank you very much. Civilian salute to you, and thank you for calling in tonight regarding this Alabama versus Texas showdown. A lot of good substance here to work with regarding your viewpoint on Texas. And I think I was talking about this earlier in my show. I feel that, quarterbacks that have been able to come in here and kind of ball out, you look at the Johnny Manziel or the Joe Burrow, but it's a very difficult environment to come into Bryant-Denny Stadium and just to kind of run through Alabama. And for people to say they're going to be winning by 10 points or whatever, like that's not the case. Like this team is clearly, they're not at the point where they need to be yet. Last game was kind of a warm-up game there for Texas as well. And like you said, and like Ketch pointed out at the beginning of the show, I didn't realize that Quinn Ewers was that ineffective on the deep ball. Now, that all can change because we've seen sometimes quarterbacks do crazy things against Alabama because it is the Super Bowl. Like another quarterback when you went down was Bo Nix for Auburn. That game was in Auburn, but it's like something happens in that game. It's going to be a tough environment, and Alabama's defense, they're coming with it, and they got to keep Quinn clean. That's tough to say. And Dallas Turner is going to be coming just like he was last year, and so is Q Robinson, and so is Chris Broswell, and the secondary is really good. Terran Arnold's baller, Trey Amos baller. Kool-Aid baller. So, that defense is going to come with it. And the offense, they're going to be finding themselves at some point, but it's going to be a difficult environment. I think fans understand the magnitude that they really have to come with it. And that's going to play a really big, catalyst in this game as well, is the fan experience and the fan atmosphere. The fans got to come with it because it was very difficult for Alabama to play in Austin last year. By the way, what time is it? What time is it in South Korea? What's happening on Monday?
So it's 10:30. Actually, it's 10:23 in the morning right now over here. Sunny, bright, great. We're a day ahead of you guys. So I think right now we're 14 hours ahead of you guys.
Yeah, right.
So I haven't been home. I don't know. I haven't been home in like 4 years. I'm from Texas. I haven't been back in like 4 years.
Wow.
I got lucky. I got stationed out here, and I'm just living the dream. It's beautiful over here. It's
Yeah,
wonderful.
I've always
Different
looked up.
cultures.
I've always wanted to go to South Korea. I've looked up a couple different spots that I've eventually, like to check out. Love to travel, and South Korea has certainly got to be on the list. I mean, some of the beaches and some of the cities look just unbelievable, right? I mean, I'm sure if you have some downtime, whatever, you probably checked out some of them. But I bet you it's amazing. Any other final points on this matchup? With Texas and Alabama as we turn towards week 2.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing to say, and I think that this is kind of like something that most Texas fans say, we want to be competitive. We want to compete, and hopefully, I'm wrong. Hopefully we come in and we put up a good show for the fans. But I think what's more exciting is Texas OU going to the SEC. The fan passion from the SEC is unreal, just like this show right now. You're not going to see Iowa State doing a show like this. You're not going to see Baylor. You're not going to see the other schools that, are in the Big 12 doing that. I mean, call it petty or not, I just think that, SEC football is different.
Yeah.
It is different. We got a recruiting bump just putting that logo, we're going to put that logo on our uniform, and kids don't want to go play in any other conference in the SEC. Mm-hmm. And with Texas being in the SEC, I mean, we won that big battle out of that Duncanville kid just because we're going to the SEC. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited. This is going to be great. This is going to be a litmus test. Hopefully it's not like the Arkansas game 2 years ago where Texas went in and they got smacked. But I don't know. This is going to be a tough one. This is going to be a make or breaker for Steve Sarkisian. If he doesn't perform this year, it's going to be really sad to see him go because he's become a fan favorite. And I know he was a fan favorite in Tuscaloosa. So we'll see what happens.
David, well, 2 things. Number 1, thanks for the call. I appreciate you calling in from South Korea. We appreciate your service to this great country. And to everybody out there, if you're watching the United States military, we really appreciate you serving this country. Freedom isn't free. And we appreciate you calling in. Thank you for your service to this great country. And Roll Tide to you. I know you're a Texas fan, but it's just something that you say over here. So we will catch up with you next time. Feel free to call in anytime, and we'll catch up to you tomorrow at some point.
All right, take care.
All right, man, take it easy. All right. That was our first call from South Korea. I think we had a call one time from New Zealand, and then we've had a couple calls from Japan. There's also a reporter that has a show from Mexico City, and he does his thing. I forget his name. I want to give him a shout out because he has his own show. It's kind of like mine, but it's like in Mexico City. I think he came out this weekend. I should have rapped with him. I should have taken him. If you come to Tuscaloosa, if you're a Texas fan, write this down. I need to tell Catch too. You need to go to Antojitos. Okay, so Antojitos is on McFarland. It's by an African hair braiding store. It's kind of like there behind a Chevron. The food is unbelievable, honestly. It's not like a Tex-Mex. No, like the owners are from Mexico City. So Antojitos is a spot you want to hit up. Okay, we go back to the phone lines. We got a 256. We'll take it right now. Oops. Hey, what's up? You on the line with Kyle Henderson? On the line with him. Where are you calling in from?
What's up, Cal? This is Sean.
Sean, man.
How you guys doing?
Sean calling in on the hotline, man. Sean, man, we're getting a call from South. Isn't that amazing? That we get calls from.
Yeah, that was great.
That was great. And like a lot of substance there too. And with that said, it's like, look, it's not going to be like nobody just waltzes into Bryant-Denny Stadium and, just puts it to Alabama. And look, I get it.
Exactly.
Things happen, but this defense is a lot better than people think. And even though the offense did have their showing, they haven't even found their rhythm yet.
Thing about it is I want to respond to David, and shout out to David. That was a great call.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that call from him. But I would tell any fan out there, do not be fooled, our fans especially, do not be fooled by this Quinn couldn't complete a pass stuff.
Yeah, yep.
If you know Sark and you know offense the way I do, that was strictly by design. That was strictly vanilla. These guys didn't really throw anything downfield. I think he may have went downfield very, very few times when he could have. And the thing that should scare everybody, as at least keep us humble is the plays that they score that they scored on, with several of them were behind the line of scrimmage passes. So they have some electric guys that can take that thing to the house. Don't be fooled by this Quinn Ewers, didn't do this, don't do that. That was strictly by design, guys. I saw the whole offensive game plan. A lot of rips, a lot of lizzes, a lot of motions, a lot of high lows, a lot of skinny posts. That was all by design. If you know football, you know this guy was not trying to show anything. That was strictly by design. Trust me. Quinn Ewers threw for 260 yards practically without even going deep. That is some efficiency, guys. So that is a great quarterback. Don't be fooled. Don't let them lull you to sleep with that. Oh, Quinn's terrible. Don't do that. Please trust me. Don't do that. Sark knows exactly what he's trying to do. That was strictly by design. That whole script of plays he ran was not really opening the can of worms, if you know what I mean. That was very, very, very conservative on his part. And those guys, yeah, sure, they came out slow, and it looked like they were struggling. But that play calling was so vanilla. Oh my God, it was so vanilla. The one thing I do want to harp on is, though, Kelvin Banks, that wonderful freshman last year, who's a sophomore this year, that played extremely well. You know, he had his struggles. Young man is still an awesome, awesome tackle. Young man had his struggles. The interior had their struggles. But I would tell everyone, it's a huge difference, guys, a huge difference in playing at home and playing on the road in college football. I can remember some Texas fans, some bros I have out there was telling me people were in line like hours and hours and hours before the Alabama game, days before, to get tickets. So when you have that home field advantage, the adrenaline's pumping, your friends and families right there in the stands, you play better. So we need our fans to be on 10 from the opening kickoff to the last whistle. We need our fans to go home hoarse, like I said in the comments. We need our fans to provide a hostile environment, guys, like never before. Every TV station is going to be locked into this game. I think you have one of the college shows coming. I'm not sure if it's Game Day or SEC Network or wherever it is.
It's Game Day, and then also Pat McAfee's going to be here. So
okay, so you got everybody coming out. Mm-hmm. Exactly, guys. You got Kyle going to be in the house, of course. You know, so we got to, you know, the game as far as MTSU on our part was as vanilla as well. Mm-hmm. We didn't really do a lot, man. We went downfield a couple of times. What I saw from Jalen Milroe is what I've been saying all summer. The young man did miss some plays downfield when Jermaine Burton had his man beat, but guess what he came back and did? When they talked with him, he came back, hit Isaiah Bond on like a 50-yard pass. Mm-hmm. Then he hit Jermaine Burton, came back and followed up with Jermaine Burton on another 48-yard pass. Yeah. So the progression is there. He understands. That's what we need to look for, guys. Sure, it's one game, but for one game, if we're going to grade him, if we're going to kick him in the back all summer, let's give him his just due for this one game. The man played about as well as you possibly could under the circumstances he was in. I was totally satisfied with what I saw. There's always room for improvement. We all know that. But for what I saw Texas, I saw Ohio State, I saw Georgia, I saw all these great teams that are ranked in the top 10, and I would take our game over any of them. Mm-hmm. Trust me. Mm-hmm. We'll be just fine. What I am concerned about real quick, I think we need to be better. We talked about this on our show, but I think we need to be better on the interior of our defensive front. The interior, to me, you know, I didn't like how we played on the interior, man. I seen guys with their hand on their hips a lot. I seen guys getting turned that I usually don't see getting turned like that. You know, I seen guys getting knocked off the ball a little bit. So I think the interior is where we need to focus on our defensive front. The secondary was aggressive. The middle linebackers were outstanding. I think the interior is where we need to really, really focus on. If I know Coach Saban and that defense, they will focus on that with these guys. Sark is going to come out. He's going to run a lot of motions. He's going to try to attack us on the perimeter. Sark is an offensive guy. All offensive guys like myself tend to overcoach. You tend to put things in. You tend to cram too much in on a real big game. He's an offensive-minded coach. Trust me. That's just by nature. It's just by nature. This guy's going to try to attack us on the perimeter. He loves to run reverse screens. He loves to zone his plays out to one side, turn around and throw the screen back to the other side.
Yes.
He loves setting up plays on motion. Everything Sark does is based off motion. So we really, really, really got to be disciplined with this offense. He runs a lot of option routes, a lot of skinny posts. He'll turn around and throw that thing deep on you, play action out of the shotgun. So it is important that our secondary train their eyes, don't get caught up in the the play action stuff. Don't get sucked up in those plays. It's extremely important for our safeties to be disciplined. Even more important for our middle linebackers to be very, very disciplined. We need our defensive front to step up and really, really, really play well. But most importantly, outside the football team, we need our crowd to come out and be a 12th man. Mm-hmm. If you are listening to this show, and you know some people that's going to that Texas game, please come out, get ready to scream your heads off, man. We need to provide a hostile environment.
Shawn from Hustle with the call. Elizabeth, thank you so much for the super chat. Keep on killing it. She's building us a studio, Shawn, here in Tuscaloosa, man. So we appreciate it so much.
We do.
Honestly, we do. I mean, I do this like all myself, and I talked with Smook and Shawn about this, and Jarek is like, we're trying to build this product, so, these guys are coming with it too. So I appreciate you guys more than you know, and support these guys tomorrow night on Monday Night Quarterback as we talk Alabama versus Texas. Shawn, I know you've been harping on that the whole time, is the fact that these fans need to come with it, because I truly, truly feel that last year the game was much closer than anticipated. Because the atmosphere in Austin was electric. Like, those fans are hungry. They're thirsty. Mm-hmm. And that's what you need to have at Bryant-Denny State. Because if Bryant-Denny, if it's full and it's loud, that it's intimidating. Right. Honestly, like,
yes, sir.
Sometimes when it gets going, because I've felt it before, and it's an energy that you can't describe. And going to all these different SEC towns and getting to understand what college football is really about. I'm not from here. I'm from New Mexico. So I've lived here for 6 years now, and getting to experience that when Bryant-Denny heats up and those lights go, there's nothing like it. I'm telling you, they amplified the stadium experience. Now it's the fans' job to change that momentum, because they really can. Honestly, the players thrive off that, and it is intimidating. Bryant-Denny Stadium is a gigantic structure, and when you get in there and the lights are down, I mean, there's no place like it. And you're absolutely right. One thing that I did notice, Shawn, too, and I was watching the Texas game earlier today, is the motions. And the motions can be dangerous for defenses, specifically if you have the athletes to do it, which Texas does. And one of the guys who does a great job at motions is Kyle Shanahan for the 49ers. And I was starting to see some of that. You fake one way and you go the other way with the football. And I saw that today from Texas when I was watching. And that's dangerous, right? Because you have the weapons. The running backs are good. The tight end is good. So Corey's saying Sark is talking right now. What's he talking on, Corey? Let me know. Send me that link. But you're right. I mean, teams that can use that motion, you're right. He's a very dynamic offensive coach. He knows what Saban is going to want to do, because Saban is the defensive guy. It's really Saban versus Sark. And so it's like Saban and Kevin Steele are in the defensive room, right? And going against Sark, who is very talented on the offense. Anything else, Shawn, while we have you on the line?
Last but not least, guys, if you know anyone that has tickets, tell them do not sell them, because Alabama, when we travel, we tend to gobble up a lot of tickets, and we have more than the schools always allot us. It's always a ton of Bama fans in Mississippi State, a ton of Bama fans in Vanderbilt. We always take over those stadiums. These Texas fans will try to do this year. Trust me. Do not sell your tickets to them. I'd rather you just not go to the game rather than sell it to a Texas fan. Do not do that. We want to limit these guys. These guys cut the air conditioner off on us, wouldn't let us bring our band. Do not sell these guys your tickets. Respect the Texas. Love you guys. But we are coming to play ball, and we're going to send you home with an L. Roll Tide to everybody, Cal. We'll be tapped in tomorrow. Everybody tune in tomorrow. Check us out tomorrow. We're going to dive in really, really deep. Shout out to Coach Smook. Shout out to Jared. Shout out to my brother Kyle. Roll Tide to everybody, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Roll Tide, Shawn. Appreciate you, man. All right, we got a 205 and a 706. Kyle Henderson and Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you very much, Elizabeth, once again for another 50 spot, carrying the load tonight for us. We appreciate you more than you know. Kyle Henderson, if you guys can hit the thumbs up, subscribe. We are almost to 90,000 subscribers right here on Bama Football on YouTube, which is really amazing, being that we built this from the ground up. We'll take a 205, and we will start right now. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle. This is Toby.
Toby, so
thanks